How do the banks calculate living expenses? Well, today we're going to go through a 2020 update of what you need to know about what the banks are looking at with your living expenses when applying for a loan. So let's dive right in. Since the Royal Commission, the banks have delved into living expenses more than ever. Traditionally, the banks went off an index, which effectively meant that the banks were benchmarking everyone's living expenses. What came out of the Royal Commission was that the banks needed to individualise everyone's circumstances and look at them on a case-by-case basis, which meant that the banks in recent times have gone through people's living expenses in more detail than ever. So what do you need to know if you're applying for a loan in 2020? And what are the banks looking out for that you need to be aware of? Well, there are 8 points of verification that they are looking at. So we're going to go through all 8 today. So when you make an application with the bank get 3 months of your day-to-day transactions. This is where they can see your spendings patterns, your conduct and everything like that. So the first thing that the banks look at is your conduct. They want to see any late fees, any arrears notice. They're also going to be looking at your credit card statements. They'll be looking at your transactional accounts and getting an idea of your conduct on your accounts. Now, if you have arrears or late payments on any of your credit facilities or overdrawings on your day-to-day accounts, the banks are going to be asking questions and wanting to understand why this is happening. If it's simply mismanagement of your funds, meaning that you've got a lump sum of savings in another account and you've just been a little bit tardy with your account, you can generally get around it. If in fact you were falling short of funds each month, that might cause concern for the banks. So the second thing that the banks are going to be looking for is undisclosed liabilities. So once again, when they go through your 3 months of day-to-day transactions, they're going to be looking for any undisclosed debt that you're paying, any credit cards that you've paid that you haven't included in your statement of position. Now, a common one we see here is Afterpay. A lot of people don't think that this is a facility that needs to be talked about. It is something that the banks are interested in. So if you have any Afterpay, Wallet Wizard, ZipPay, anything like that, you'll need to let the bank know at the start of the application. The third that the banks are looking at is any large withdrawals over $1,000. Once again, they want to get an understanding of if this is an ongoing, recurring payment that's going to continue, and if not, why such a large withdrawal was taken. The fourth is any large transfers over $1,000 going into your account. They're looking to understand your position to make sure that 1, there isn't any more liabilities, or 2, you haven't received money that you're going to have to repay. The fifth that the banks are looking at when they go through your statements are, is there any ongoing child support? So particularly if you've had a previous relationship and you might have an agreement with the next partner, they're wanting to see if there's ongoing maintenance, which would be included as an ongoing liability in your application. The sixth is if there's any ongoing private school fees, childcare fees or school fees ongoing with having your children. Depending on the bank, some lenders actually include private school fees as a separate expense category. What this means is that your expenses will go up drastically when we include private school fees. The banks are going to go through your statements and check that that's not an ongoing recurring cost. They also want to understand if there's any childcare or any ongoing fees associated with schooling. The seventh is ongoing medical costs. Now we see this a lot. It can be ongoing, recurring of $200+ a month. Once again, the banks want to understand this ongoing recurring cost to include this in your expense summary and make sure that they're reflecting your position accurately. And the last thing that the banks are looking at when they're calculating your ongoing costs is your HECS or your ongoing education debt. Now this doesn't come directly out of your bank account, it's shown on your payslip. However, this does impact your application significantly because this class is an ongoing expense. So that's it for today, guys. As always, thanks for watching. If you've liked today's video, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.